back to Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to start building a new build. This is set number 60470. It's funny because it says Explorer Train on the box, but on the Lego website it says Explorers Train, Polar Express Train, or something like that. So it has a different name. Anyway, today we're going to go ahead and start building this. I don't know how far we're going to get, but we're going to go ahead and start this. If you guys would, if you feel like it's your part, I didn't say it is your part. I said if it feels like your part, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and let's change camera so you can see what I'm building right in front of me. And we'll get her going. All right. Well, I hope that each of you are having a good morning. I'm not having a bad morning, but I am having a weird morning, I should say. I don't know if you guys ever have those days where you just feel like something's off and you can't quite put your finger on it. Well, that's what it feels like today. So anyway, nothing bad's happened or anything. I'm actually coming off a pretty good day because yesterday, for instance, wow, yesterday was awesome. I got done with the stream here. And after that, I went right out to I went downstairs and hung up all my cabinets, and that's for the Bricklink store. I got that all organized, and they've been kind of sitting on the ground because I redid them about a week ago, and I just haven't had time to get back down there. So I went down there right after the stream, spent a couple hours down there hanging cabinets. There's 2 screws per cabinet. It was like 100 cabinets, so it took a while. Okay, we have our first guy here. We've got Explorer with a little map, and I think we're building his little tracked vehicle. I don't really remember, but anyway, I got those cabinets hung, and there was other projects like my personal Legos, the ones I use for the city, that I was like, I really need to reorganize that. And I've been thinking that for a while. I have a very busy production schedule with YouTube for the last month or so. And so I didn't really want to take the time, and I really couldn't take the time to do it. So yesterday, after getting those cabinets done downstairs for Bricklink, I headed out to my shop and I reorganized most of the cabinets in there. I didn't quite finish, but I almost did. It was blazing hot out there. Talking about 96 outside the shop, a little over 100 inside the shop. So, I ended up being out there for about 6 hours. And then I came in after that and I crashed. I just fell asleep. So, oh boy, come on. This piece has to be in here. There it is. Yes, it is. So I got those cabinets done yesterday. So happy about that. I also reorganized a bunch of my my Legos out there. I've got like, I don't know, piles out there of pieces that are left over from this set, left over from that set, and yesterday I started going through some of that and whittling it down a little bit, not a lot. Oh, yes. You guys remember I did the green monster fighter house thing to compare the first haunted house, the haunted house 3-in-1, set number 31167. Well, I said in my thing that I was missing the spider web, the gray one. And yesterday, when I was going through those piles I was talking about, left over from everything, I found the gray spider web, the dark gray. So it's up here, and it's back next to the haunted house. It's been reunited with its original owner. So I guess Spider-Man did not come and take it, like I said. But today is going to be a day of dad jokes. I've got quite a few, and maybe even a couple of Yo Mama jokes here and there. But I will start off with, what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie? It's so sophisticated. And I bought a pen the other day, brand new pen. It can write underwater. It can also write other words too, if you let it. So yeah, I really enjoyed yesterday. I really like those days when things are just productive, because here's the problem. I don't know if you guys have this problem, but there are just days where I give it my all and I don't feel like I accomplished much. And it's because stupid things like, let's say I need a doctor's appointment, and I'll call, and well, I happen to catch them on their lunch. And then I call them back a little bit later, and they're not on lunch, but the phone lines are busy and no one ever picks up. So I end up not getting a doctor's appointment, even though I might have spent 30, 40 minutes trying to get one. Or other times too, where I start a project and I need a certain size bolt or something. And, I've been struggling all day to make it work. And by the time I figure out that it's not going to work, the hardware store's closed, so I can't run there and get it. So, because it closes at 6 o'clock. I have those kind of days all the time where things just don't work out. And so yesterday, when everything was working out, that was a very welcome change. And it was nice just to accomplish those cabinets and all that stuff. So anyway. This is a tracked vehicle, so it is going to take a little bit to put all the tracks together. And I want to let you know that I really like the word plethora. It means a lot to me. And today I was over at the bank, and an old lady asked me to check her balance. So I pushed her over and got fired. Well, I used to have a job at the calendar factory, but I got fired because I took a few days off. All right. Now we have to do this this track thing. I don't know how many there are. There's two, well, it's 2 tracks, but I don't know how many links per track. Looks like a lot. Give me 1 second here. Okay, there's 21. So let's go ahead and I'm going to count them out. Okay, they gave us 2 extra. They always do usually give you a few extra. So well, whenever I go to the like Walmart, man, I've always noticed the cashier is always checking me out. And while she was checking me out, by the way, I could see that she was clearly younger than me. And I mentioned it to her, hey, I'm not really sure, you look a lot younger than me. I'm 50. And she said to me that, age is just a number. I hate when people say that. It's not a number, it's a word, clearly. Hey, Greg, how are you doing, man? How's your morning shaping up, man? Yeah, I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the stream, Greg, but I actually had a really good day yesterday. I got off here, and because I didn't have a stream in the evening, I didn't have to prepare for the stream. So what I did instead was I worked on hanging my Bricklink cabinets down in the basement. And then I worked on my personal cabinets out in the shop, reorganizing them, because as I buy stuff from the pick-a-brick wall, I need more drawers in certain places, and yesterday was my day to place those drawers. There we go. We got one side. Let's get the other done. Oh, you took your day off work? Okay. Are you feeling okay? Or was it just well, I guess as my son calls them, mental health days. I've done that before, just taking a mental health day. Oh, the Willy Wonka? Do we know when it's going to be released? I do want to get it, Greg. And I think the likelihood of me getting it is pretty strong. Oh, you're just done for the day. Okay. All right. Oh, you just got off work. I read it wrong. I thought you said you called off work. September 15th. Okay. Well, there's a good possibility I could get that then. Because that gives me time to come up with a little bit of money. So just to let you guys know, tomorrow night will be part 2 of the Neuschwanstein Castle. That'll be a live stream tomorrow night. The live stream in the morning is going to be this guy right here, finishing this up, because I only think this is going to take 2 streams. This isn't a huge set. All right. Let's stick this guy in here. For one easy payment of $220. Yeah, I know. Well, it's a good thing I'm not making $1,000 payment on a dish. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to start that discussion again. Okay, so we have the little trawler dude. And next we are going to build, it looks like, a spot to load the train. So let's go ahead and set this guy aside. I'm running out of spots to set things aside. Let's go ahead and let's start that. How about you, Greg? Is that something you want to get? You don't know yet? Okay, that's a fair answer. Yeah, let's look at the weather forecast. It's only 77 right now, but I mean, it's only 11 in the morning. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? What happened? No. It's not what I wanted. I want to check the weather. Okay, so it's not supposed to be as warm yesterday. It's supposed to be, or as warm as yesterday. It's supposed to be 92. Yesterday was 96, but Friday and Saturday are both 95. And then, oh my goodness, guys, I'm so looking forward to Monday, because Monday is only supposed to be 82 and Tuesday 81. I'm looking forward to that. Porter, how you doing, man? How you been? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that break in the weather, because I've been wanting to spend more time out in the shop, but like me spending 6 hours out in the shop yesterday when it was over 100 degrees in there, I end up just coming in and I sat in my computer chair, the other one over there, and I honestly fell asleep in the chair. So it exhausts me to be out there in that heat. And I will say, I do see a huge quality difference in between the Riviera we just finished and this. This just seems like it's more slapped together. You want some Chick-fil-A right now? Yeah, Chick-fil-A is a good spot, dude. Closest one to me is an hour and 20 minutes, though. I did go to Chick-fil-A's last Saturday, though. Got their 30-piece chicken nuggets. I am going to do the review on the Italian Riviera really soon. In fact, I'll probably videotape it this afternoon and give me a couple of days to edit and release it. But that's coming really soon. We also have a review on the Wild West train coming up. And hello, Cajun Yeti. A good Chick-fil-A sandwich with the buffalo sauce. Yeah, my son loves that buffalo sauce. Yeti, how is your morning shaping up? I'm fairly certain this is just going to be a 2-streamer to get this one done. John, how's it going? You don't know yet? That's a fair answer. I don't always know how things are going either, even when it's the middle of the day. All right, that's interesting how they use they didn't use clips. They just used the studs to go in between that to lock that in. That's okay. Greg sent you some courthouse shorts. All right. Well, yeah. Oh my goodness, I should have flipped it. So I was telling you guys that yesterday was 96. So in the shop it was over 100. I was in there for 6 hours working on stuff, and it exhausted the hell out of me. And today's supposed to be warm, but only 92 instead of 96. So I'll take the 4-degree difference. But starting on Monday, it's supposed to be 82. Tuesday, 81. Wednesday, only 75. Guys, I will gladly take 75. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so nice. And Thursday is 76. Oh man, that's music to my ears, guys. I'm going to be out in that shop getting that city done. That's what I'm going to be doing. John, I got no money. I would love to have proper HVAC out there. I got zero money. Oh, I didn't need it here. Oops. I don't know why you say proper HVAC. I got zero HVAC. I got nothing. I just crack open the doors a little bit, stick a 2x4 underneath there so the cats can't get in, but get a little bit of air moving. That's about the best I can do out there right now. I'd go portable to have wall units. I know, but it's 2,400 square foot, and that's really hard to cool something like that. And the other thing too is I really need to get the south wall insulated first in the roof, because right now I just got 3 walls insulated, and so I'm afraid that if I were to try to run something, it's not going to do much. I'm mostly be wasting my money on the energy escaping the place. So I think I need to work on the insulation first. And just as soon as I can, I will. I'll throw insulation in that last wall. Dude, I wish we were having having the weather that you were going to have next week. We're in the 99th. Oh, yeah, and you got that humidity too. Yeah, I mean, not that I'm asking for sympathy, because you guys have the humidity worse than you guys have it way worse than we do on the humidity. But I will say that the last couple of days, the humidity has been about 10% higher than it usually is here, and that's something that I definitely felt. But no, you guys definitely have it worse than we do. And Greg says he looks cute. That's awesome. More shorts to come. Is she your neighbor? Oh, that lady? Yeah, I think John wants her to be more than a neighbor, but no, I'm just kidding. She is cute though. She's a good-looking gal. I also need to do the electrical on the west wall. I've got the wires ran behind the thing, but they're just sticking out, and I need to connect them up. It's not good. I hate humidity. And be right back. All right. Well, we'll see you when you get back, my brother. Come to Florida, but you're already in the South. Yeah, I know you guys have it bad. My daughter, like I said, she lived in Orlando for a little bit, and I went to visit her once, and that's all it took for me. I was like, I don't think I ever want to live here. It was really weird. Like, you'd be shopping at Walmart, and it looks pretty normal, and then you just drive down the street, and all of a sudden there's a big old swamp. And then there's another shopping center. Then there's another swamp. There are swamps everywhere. I got my morning coffee. No, I'm just kidding. It's Mountain Dew. It's 86, and then in the shade it feels like 95. It actually feels worse in the shade. Man. Oh, wrong tile. John, how's mom doing? They say that 3 out of 2 people are bad at fractions. And I might be one of them. All right, we're making a little coffee maker here. I like that. She's good. Sadly obsessed with providing free childcare to my nephew's daughter. Yeah, John, I can understand that. I've seen that happen to my mom too. Not recently, but I mean, when my one sister left the house, she had 3 kids, and yeah, my mom got stuck babysitting them quite a bit. All right, so we are on bag number 3, everyone. Bag number 3, if you can believe that. And Ken says, afternoon, Jeff. I'm sitting here watching my favorite YouTuber while waiting to clock in at 1:45. Ken, how's it been going for you? Sounds like the overtime and the hours are still there, which I'm happy for you. It's always good to be able to know you can depend on your next paycheck. So I applied for a job down at the diner. At the interview, I told them I bring a lot to the table. Tired and fantastic. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Just the hours? Is that what's getting you tired? Just working a lot? And I asked the IT guy, how do you make a motherboard? And he said, I just tell her about my job. Oh, man, those are corny. I love them, though. They're awesome. I have to work again 8-hour Saturday. I'm still working 2 p.m. Ooh, yeah, that's... Yeah, I got you now. I hear you. All right, so we got a little solar panel. I like that. I wish I could get more of those. Sure I can. Okay. So we're getting somewhere with this. Oh, I love these pieces. These are the big old fenders from Technic cars. And they've decided to apply them here. Okay, let's see. We've got. I'm on the floor rolling laughing. Oh boy, what's this? Oh, okay, yeah. Did you guys hear about that true story in the Antarctic where there was a doctor there? And I don't know if you know, they get trapped there because after a certain amount of time, the weather just gets bad and a plane cannot go in or out of there for months. And during one of those periods, there was a doctor who was at the American post there, and he ended up with an appendicitis, and there was nothing he could do about it. He couldn't, like, there was no hospital. He was the doctor, and he actually ended up performing the surgery on himself and removing his appendix, which saved his life, by the way. But yeah, it happened at a little outpost like this one. I don't know, man. I think, oh, I guess when you get desperate, you do what you got to do. But dang, how do you go through that much pain and stay conscious? Because I mean, obviously he couldn't be on painkillers doing that. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm blabbing about stories. I want to go to NASA on my days off. Oh, where is NASA in relation to you? Because I know Houston, we have a problem. I know that's in Texas. And actually, when I used to be the IT support guy for accounts payables, I used to play around with that. And I used to mess around with the AP manager, and I would text her on Teams. And when we were done with the check run, if everything went right and the right amount of checks printed and all that, I would tell her, Houston, we don't have a problem. Or if we had a problem, I'd tell her, Houston, we have a problem. But yeah, that was kind of my running joke. That would be the Johnson Space Center in Dallas. Okay. Or is it Houston? I thought it was Houston, but I mean, John, I don't know. I ain't from there. Greg, where's it at? Greg says Houston. Okay, all right. Old age, yeah, no, I have the same problem. How far is Houston, like, mile wise? Like, is it like 100 miles away? Is it 60 miles? 10 miles? Oh, I need this piece here. Where do I find that piece? Okay, so we need this guy here. I like this piece because if the train's off the rails at all, and when it hits this, it puts it back on the thing. All right, so we are done with yet another book. So this one's will go down in the books. So they say. Okay, next we're building. There's a little thing that train passes through, and these boulders can fall on the train. That's kind of a on purpose sort of thing. So anyway, let me quit blabbing and let me get started building. Okay, we have another minifigure. Well, this table's getting crowded. Houston's 200 miles away. So that's what, about 3.5 hours, depending on who's driving and how heavy their foot feels that day. Greg says 100 miles. Okay. All right. So we've got this guy here. Kind of looks like Han Solo's hat there from Empire Strikes Back, sort of. Oh, and this is number 3 because we have the driver, we've got the girl, and we got this guy. And I forget how many figures are with this thing, but anyway, it's an interesting build. And Yeti, sometimes I really wished I could move down there, only because the Winter Olympics were held in Salt Lake many years ago. And ever since then, housing prices around here have just shot up, and it's just so expensive to live here. I mean, I know it's not as expensive as California, but it is expensive. And sometimes I wish I could just move there where it's less expensive. So I imagine I could get a place much like this one for maybe half the price. Because I was looking at homes just a few months ago in that area, and a comparable home to this one. This house is about $725,000. A similar home there I could get for about $350,000, so about half. So it's just, gosh, man, when I look at that, it's like, oh no, I want to move. I can't though. Can't move right now. I'm kind of stuck where I'm at for a little bit. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Don't play with Louisiana State Police. You sure the hell not. Don't play with Texas Police so you drive the speed limit. I don't know, man. I've been to Texas, man. They drive like a bat out of hell everywhere. I've been run off the road almost a couple of times. But you know what? I've never been pulled over in either one of those states. Of course, I don't think I've ever been to Louisiana now I think about it. I've been to Texas probably a dozen times or so. And I've driven there. So I've spent many hours in that state driving. What I don't like about driving in Texas, though, you're on a U.S. highway, and every little small town you go through, it's like all of a sudden the speed limit drops to 25 or 30. And it's just for like very brief periods. I mean, you blink, you miss the whole entire town. And that's kind of annoying because it happens over and over and over. Battleship Texas is being moved to Galveston. Awesome. Now, Galveston, if I remember right, that's kind of like down by Corpus Christi. I think so, right? I've been to Corpus Christi, and I did not like it. It was way too humid for me. Oh, my goodness. Google Maps doesn't even want to work. You know that's a bad day. Oh, no, it's up by Houston. Corpus Christi's way down there. Okay, they're pretty far apart. Never mind. I got you, though. And my friend Louisiana, number 2 in the world with most prisons, so yet you don't play over here unless you're ready to do some time. Well, the worst I ever did was spend a weekend in jail. Yeah, I admitted it. Mr. Chip spent a weekend in jail once. That was I was 20, 21, 22. And the only reason I went to jail is because I mouthed off to a cop. It wasn't because I wasn't convicted of any crime. Cop showed up. He had a little bit of attitude, so I gave him attitude back, which I mean, yeah, that's not the smartest thing in the world, but I was also just 21, 22. So, you know, that part of my brain had not developed yet. So I got mouthy with the cop. And next thing I knew, I had cuffs slapped on me. I was in jail for the weekend. And we get to the jail, and the cop was like, he tells the guy, he goes, make sure he doesn't make it to court on Saturday. Make sure he's on the docket for Monday. So, yeah, I couldn't even get my bond hearing until Monday. And then when I get there, the judge is like, what is this? This isn't even, get this out of here. Because basically all I did was mouth off to the cop. I actually didn't commit a crime. So I was not even released on my OR, own recognizance. I was just released altogether. And no charges were actually filed. So, well, they were initially. That's the only reason they could hold me in jail. He said disorderly conduct, but the judge was like, no, I don't think so. So anyway, that was my fun. It was a little bit too much fun. I don't think I ever want to do that again. My friend just had to pay over $1,300 for a speeding ticket. He was going 15 over. Oh, dang, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of Lego he missed out on. Battleship Texas to Pier 15. Okay. Well, I'll have to check and see how far Galveston is from Mrs. Chip, because the next time I go see her, maybe I'll mosey on down there. I would love to see more of the U.S. I love travel. I love seeing places, especially historic places. Mrs. Chip and I, we went to go see the aircraft carrier that's there in Charleston, South Carolina, from World War II. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I don't think it was. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember it. It was like the third aircraft carrier with the same name, because the first two were sunk. I do remember that. There was also a submarine there. There was a destroyer. I'm trying to remember. I think there was one other ship there at that pier. Anyways, it was really cool. I got plenty of pictures of it. And it was cool because on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier, they had a F-14 Tomcat, and then they had some Vietnam, I think it was A4s, or F4s, I'm sorry. And I'm trying to remember what else. They had this, and they had some propeller craft too. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. I'd show you my phone, but I'd have to scroll past all the other pictures that are not appropriate for YouTube first. We have the USS Kidd. It's a museum now, but for the 4th of July, you can pay to watch fireworks on the deck. It's the most beautiful fireworks I've ever seen. And the USS Kidd, is that an aircraft carrier, or is that a destroyer? Like what kind of ship is that? And I don't know. I'm sorry. What conflicts? Do you know what conflicts it participated in, or? It's a Davy Destroyer. Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm a little tired. And actually, I slept pretty good last night. I got about 7 hours, which is that's good for me. But anyway, it's like any other day. I get through it. And that's something I'll share with you guys. I remember I was in high school, and I was having a really rough time because my girlfriend of 2 years broke it off with me. And, you know, at 16, 17, losing your first girlfriend's always rough, right? And I was pretty down in the dumps about it. And I remember my dad came into my room and he just said, "Hey, you know, how you holding up?" And I remember telling him, you know, pretty brutally honest about my feelings. I was feeling crappy. And my dad said something to me that's really stuck with me over the years. My dad said, "You know, I know right now it feels like a lot." He says, "But you actually have a pretty good track record." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, you've made it 100% of the time. You've made it through all the crappy days you've had so far." And I'll be honest with you, that was like, I mean, it's a really simple thought, but I was like, holy crap, my dad's right. I have made it through 100% of every bad day I've ever had. I think I'm going to be all right. Not that it was like that bad. It was just, you know, you're 16 years old, 17 years old, and you lose your first girlfriend of 2 years. Yeah, you're going to feel it. That girl ended up being crazy because she broke it off with me and wouldn't leave me alone. Anyway, escorting larger vessels, anti-aircraft defense, and shore bombardment during World War II and the Korean War. She also played roles in anti-submarine warfare, rescued down pilots, and served as a picket ship. Okay. All right. That's actually that's pretty good. Thanks for looking that up, man. I like U.S. Navy ships. Of course, my dad was in the Navy. Okay, just making sure. We are almost on to another bag, guys. So we're doing pretty dang good. Yeah, my dad served on the, it wasn't a ship, it was the P-3 Orions, which at the time, okay, I see what's supposed to happen. At the time, the P-3 Orion was a sub-hunter plane. And I have an extra one of these, and I don't feel it's supposed to be extra. In fact, I know it's not supposed to be extra. So help me out here. Oh, okay. It goes way up here. Oh, okay. I did miss it. Okay. All right, that's bags 1 through 4. Let's grab number 5. Quinn Foster, how you doing? It's good to meet you. He says, I want to make a Lego one wheel and have it self-balance. You know, I was watching this isn't a one wheel, but you remind me of something. I was watching this video last night, and the subject matter is not that important, but it was about space and star formations, that kind of stuff. Anyway, in it they had this thing talking about what's the future of humanity going forward, and they were putting forth some ideas. And one of the ideas they had was this large spaceship that was just a giant, like, thin wheel, but the I guess the tire tread per se, if it was a tire, it was thin, but it wasn't. It was this thing was so big that it represented a couple of levels of different living areas and stuff. It was pretty cool looking. Kind of like, I think the movie's called Odyssey. It kind of looked like that in a way, if I remember my movies right. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Build that out of Lego. When I was in the military, I got to see the USS Enterprise. That ship is huge. Dude, that's awesome. Did you ever set foot on it? Fun fact, the USS Enterprise was one of the biggest aircrafts in World War II. Yeah. I actually got the honor of being on the USS Abraham Lincoln once. I don't even know if that aircraft carrier is still being used or not, but when it was in the early 90s when I was told you guys a story about how I tried to join the Navy and got rejected. One of the things the recruiter tried to get me to do to get me to join was the USS Abraham Lincoln was stationed, or it wasn't stationed, it was undergoing modifications at U.S. Air Base Alameda Naval Air Station. That's near Oakland, California. It's closed now. But, it was docked there, and he got permission for us to go on there. And I have to admit, even though I didn't join the Navy, it was pretty cool to see an aircraft carrier and actually be able to walk through it. It was pretty darn rootin' tootin' cool. Oh yeah, I did miss a spot here. This bag is not going to finish this little thing we're doing here, because you can see the boulders that are supposed to fall off of this when the train goes by. You can see it over there in the other bag. So we're going to at least do this bag and the next bag, that's for sure. But no live stream tonight. Sorry, guys. I released the 3-in-1 Haunted Mansion video today instead. And tomorrow we're going to finish this up in the morning, and then Friday night we're going to do the stream on part 2 of the Neuschwanstein Castle. Oh, that's always a mouthful to say, but yeah, we'll build that one tomorrow night, or do part 2. And then just to let you know, a couple upcoming videos we've got. We're going to do the review of the Riviera, the Italian Riviera we finished yesterday. I'll do a review on the Wild West train. And yeah, I think that's the next couple of days at least. You never went on it. Yeah, it's still a cool ship though. And you being able to see it. I'm gonna look it up real quick, because Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah, we went to Fort Sumter. Where the Civil War started. I'm trying to remember where exactly it is. There it is. It's the Yorktown. That's what it is. And it's the USS Lafferty that's sitting there. And, oh, shoot. They got rid of the other one. Huh. There used to be 3 ships there. The submarine's no longer there, it doesn't look like. That submarine was in really poor shape. You could see holes that rusted partially through it. And, yeah, I guess they just don't have it anymore. But I have pictures of Miss Chip and I on there. I got proof that we were there, and there was a submarine at one point. Patriots Point, that's what it is. So, yeah, so I don't know. I don't think Louisiana would have much of this because the way your ground is very soft and kind of swampy. But I'll tell you, one of the things I like about around here, the mountains that we have, is there's a lot of abandoned mines, and there's a couple channels that I watch on YouTube. One of them is 801 Off Road, because 801's the area code for phone numbers in Utah. So anyway, that was I watched one of his videos the other day, and he found an old mining town. He had to take his ATV on an abandoned railroad track to get there, but I like that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys are ever into that kind of stuff, watching things about abandoned. Oh gosh, if I could do this right, ghost towns and stuff. He was able to find the old school. You couldn't walk in there because the roof had completely collapsed. But anyway, really, I like that older stuff. And there's a lot of that around here because we've got mountains everywhere. And wherever there's a mountain, someone's tried to dig a hole in it to find something. Sometimes they do. Yeah, none here in Louisiana. I'm only 26 foot above sea level. Yeah, that's one thing I had to get used to living here because we're at 4,700 feet above sea level. Is the air is not much thinner, but it's thinner than it was in Virginia, where Virginia we were about the same. We were only about 30 feet above sea level because we were right. The Potomac was right next to us. Oh boy. I just had a notification. I hate notifications. All right. Well, news of the weird. I got to do this one. On June 25th, members of Seattle's Kraken hockey team on a fly fishing trip at Brook Falls at Katmai National Park, Alaska, drew the unwanted attention of a bear on the prowl for food. Well, it almost sounds like the start of a joke. 3 chicks walked in a bar. All right, never mind. Multiple outlets reported that multiple outlets report that center John Hayden and the team's mascot Bowie was in full costume, were in the water when their guide spotted the bear and moved the group. The bear took a sudden interest in Bowie and charged towards him briefly before stopping and turning around. Okay, first of all, if a bear charges at you like that, now I've been out in the wilderness a lot, they often do a false charge. And they're just kind of testing the defenses. And a lot of times, if they don't feel it's worth it, they'll just charge at you and leave. I know it's weird, but that's true. They do that in a lot of cases. Now, I can't guarantee they won't attack you. I mean, if he thinks it's worth it, he might. But all right, still scary though. I mean, I don't think I'd want to do that. I want to blame it on Bowie, Hayden joked. They were pretty much interested in his look. No one was harmed in the encounter, and the other team members were unfazed. Meanwhile, the whole situation has drawn the ire of PETA, who sent a strongly worded letter filled with hockey puns detailing the harm that fish for sport does to fish, even when they're thrown back, urging the team to bench their fishing rods for good. Oh, shut up, PETA. I swear. PETA, the only reason they exist is to give people a hard time and make sure your life's miserable. In fact, I like the other thing that people say. PETA is not for people for the equitable treatment of animals. It's actually people eating tasty animals. I can't believe they even mentioned PETA. Why did they give them free advertisements? Tell PETA to suck it. The only thing I ever liked about PETA was when they got them famous people to be in cages naked. Those hot women. That was the only time I liked PETA. They don't really do that anymore. Dang it. Yeah, we're going to do one more bag after this, and then we're going to call it quits. Because I don't like, I have a hard time starting something and then not finishing it. Because then it takes forever to get back into it the next day. So we'll get that far, so at least this little rock thing is done. Oh shoot, I messed that up. All right, let's fix that. They sure are going through a lot of trouble here to do all these white cap like it's snowy, which I do appreciate. It does add a lot of, I guess, flavor to the whole thing. The waterfall. Love the waterfall. Let me show you the waterfall here as soon as I get it placed here. Look at that. They just used that window. I wish they'd use that window more often. I think Paradisa, the Breezeway Cafe, I think it was called. I think it was the first time I ever saw it. I'm not sure if that was the first time they ever used it, but that was the first time I remember seeing it in a set. All right. All right. Well, I missed something. I have an extra piece that I don't think should be extra. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's open the next bag. And this will be our final bag. And then we're going to call it quits for the day. You know, it's sad, guys. Just about every flat surface in this house is taken up. And I just got through this week. I probably took apart 5 or 6 sets just to make room, and it's already. That's another reason I got to do the Italian Riviera review as fast as I can, because I need that room. The Monster Fighters, I have that one here. I'm kind of afraid to take it apart, to be honest, because I built it for the haunted house, but it is so fragile with that that brown, the brittle brown. I actually lost a couple pieces building it. I had to go out to the shop and grab it, so kind of afraid to take it apart because it's just so brittle. But I need the room too, so I got to figure something out. Maybe I'll find a shelf, or maybe I'll buy a shelf and throw it up there just to kind of. Actually, now that I think about it, I've got a shelf in the same room that I have my 3D printer. It's not being used. All right, problem solved. Then it's going on that shelf. Well, Miss Chip will be happy. That used to be her sewing room. All right, so we have a tree here that's kind of snow covered. I like how they have green on one side and then the snow covered on the other. Oh. All right, well, let's get this done. Oh, all right. Well, I messed that up and fixed that. Yeah, I don't know. My phone's kind of going berserk. I got a bunch of notifications, so. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I accidentally dropped the box that had all my Lego vehicles in it from the show. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. But Yeti, if it makes you feel any better, I've done that too. I actually, I had the Venetian houses on the table at a show, and I slid it across the table, not really hard. And normally the buildings don't slide very far because the finish of the tables. Unfortunately, this time it slid just fine. Slid completely off the floor and busted up in a million pieces. And that was 3 years ago, Lake Yeti, and I have never put the Venetian houses back together. So if it makes you feel any better, I've done it too. Sucks when you do it, but yeah. How bad do you think it is? Like how much time do you think it's going to take you to get that all back together? Okay, now we're to the parts that I wanted to be at. We're going to be putting these holders together. Okay, we got 3 rocks boulders to put together. Okay, so what do we got here? We've got this little contraption that there's a little spot for the wheels, and when it does, I mean, I'm not going to be able to hit it hard enough. My fingernails aren't long enough, but it hits a rod here, which causes this to dump these. And then we've got this little stop here, and then we built the little tracked vehicle. So that's bags 1 through 6. And Cajun Yeti says, I don't know, and I really don't feel like doing this today. I get it, man. I'm sorry it happened to you, man. All right, guys. This is it for today. We'll be doing part 2 tomorrow morning, same time. You guys be good to each other and stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.